Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Sayyid FAROOQ Hassan is back with a brand new episode of Sky is the Limit. When I say that Pakistan is full of talented youth, I actually mean it. Today I am in Islamabad at a very recognized and renowned place which I can't name due to marketing reasons. But I am with a very, very talented individual, a very decorated individual. When I came in the room, I saw the collection of medals, and I asked that individual that do they belong to you, or have you collected them from someone else? And she said, no, they're all mine. So I was really amazed. A very, very humble person. I am with Dr. Sana Sharafat Ali, a very decorated doctor, and she's the first vascular female surgeon in Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Sana.
Welcome, Salam.
Before we start the interview, I'd like to do a detailed introduction of yours. I'd like to tell my viewers what have you been doing and what have you done up till now.
Yeah.
So Dr. Sana, as I told you, is the first female vascular surgeon of Pakistan, recognized by College of Physicians and Surgeons in Pakistan. She's the Clinical Secretary, Society of Surgeons, Pakistan, Rawalpindi and Islamabad chapter. She is the supervisor for global laparoscopy and robotics, that's GLR MIS fellowship program. She's a master trainer in advanced laparoscopic and vascular surgeries nationally and internationally. She's an assistant professor also, teaches at PIMS. She's a co-principal investigator, application of artificial intelligence in the interpretation of CT angiography in vascular patients. Now these are very technical terms that I'm using. Even I'm having problem using them, but I'm sure she doesn't have any problem in applying them. She's also the national champion in rowing and canoeing. So that's a different, we have doctors who are national champions also, and especially in rowing and canoeing. That's a very different sport. And she's also the executive member of Pakistan Rowing Association. So a very, very formal welcome to Dr. Sana Sharafat Ali to Sky is the Limit. Dr. Saba, how has your journey been till now? And you've done so much in your life. I was just going through your profile. Besides your profession as an accomplished doctor, you've studied abroad, you are a teacher, you are an assistant professor, you've done so many firsts, and you're also actively involved in sports. So that's a perfect combination, and you make the perfect and right guest for Sky is the Limit, because I want all my youngsters, all my viewers to become Dr. Sana Sharafat Ali. Where did the journey start from?
Thank you so much for having me in this program, and it's a great honor for me to be a part of this prestigious program. So my journey is quite long,
okay,
but it is.
We have all the time.
But it is very rewarding in the end. I think the path of my success, it wasn't straight at all. Sometimes it was really hard, sometimes it was complicated, sometimes it was bumpy. But at the end of it, it's all worth it. So I was born in an army family in Bahawalpur, that is one of the city of Punjab province of Pakistan.
Yes, South Punjab.
South Punjab of Pakistan, that is famous for its pottery and its embroidered clothes, dupattas and things like that. So,
and a lot of historic sites also.
Yes, it is. So my father is a retired army officer, and he was in infantry, which is one of the fighting arm of Pakistan Army.
Okay, and you were the eldest in the house?
No, I'm not. I'm in the middle. I'm going to tell you in detail. So my love for the country, and actually for military especially, it was actually inherited from him.
Okay.
So before joining Pakistan Army, my father did his bachelor's from veterinarian sciences and animal husbandry from University of Veterinary Sciences and Animal Husbandry, Lahore. After that, he did his MSc honors in agriculture economics from Agriculture University, Faisalabad. And currently, he is working as a chairman in a philanthropic society, that is Islamabad Society for Prevention of Blindness, who are actually operating on cataract surgeries, cataract patients completely free of cost. Awesome. And my father is voluntarily doing this without any financial benefits.
Very nice. That's
as far
amazing.
as my mother is concerned, so she's a great lady. She has done MPhil in physical chemistry from Quaid-e-Azam University. And now you can well imagine having this level of education almost 4 decades ago. It was itself a great achievement.
At that time, physical chemistry, even now, it's a very
Yeah, exactly. And she was MPhil in it.
rare phenomenon.
Yeah, exactly. So she had, a whole range of avenue and opportunities in front of her. But she devoted her life in building us. And whatever we are today and whatever positions that we are enjoying today, it is all because of her. So the credit goes to her.
Very nice, very nice. So how many siblings, how many brothers, sisters?
So we are 5. So we have got, I've got 3 sisters and 1 brother.
Okay.
And I'm in the middle of the family.
And you're the only doctor?
No, my youngest one is also a doctor.
Okay.
And I think being middle in the family, it's not a good position to enjoy, to be very honest.
Okay.
It's
You
because
get bullied by your elder siblings and then you have to be nice to your younger siblings.
I don't know where to set myself between the elders and the younger ones, because whenever my elders, they got scolded for something, I was counted among elders, and whenever my younger sister used to do something wrong, I was counted among elders. So I don't know a way to settle in that position.
Okay.
So all of us are in professional careers. My elder brother, he has done his bachelor's from Industrial Electronic Engineering from IIE, University Karachi, and then he did his MPhil in Control Engineering from University of Troyes, France, and then he did his MS in International Finance from France.
Yeah.
Right now, he is running his own business in Paris.
So setting very high landmarks. Okay.
Yeah. So after that, my elder sister, she is a software engineer. My younger sister is a telecom engineer, and the youngest one is also a doctor. She is a gynecologist, and currently she is working as a senior registrar at Pakistan Institute of Medical Sciences as well.
I think next thing you're going to say is that you're the least educated in the house.
Maybe.
After having done so much, I'm amazed, mashallah, what a family. So tell us about your early school days. Which school did you go to, and what kind of a student were you? Were you a very studious, bookworm kind of a student?
Okay, so basically, as I told you that my father was in army, so my early education and schooling, it was actually from a whole network of army public schools and barrier colleges all over the country. And I don't know whether I should call myself lucky or what. I don't remember myself doing a summer vacations homework in my early schooling period, because we used to get posted to other cities.
So your school was changed, so no homework?
Yeah, no homework. So it was like that.
Okay, okay. And like, were you like amongst the top 3 students?
Not at all. I have always been an average student, never topped at.
And were you good in sports?
So
extracurricular debates, dramatics.
So that is what I want to tell you. So when we were posted to different stations, my father always made us involved in some kind of extracurricular activities apart from our studies. Like for example, when we were in Bhavalpur, we learned how to swim.
Okay.
In Sialkot, we used to do riding. And when we were posted to Karachi, that was the time that Karachi was literally on fire, and my father was in Rangers. So even in those critical situations, my father made sure to keep us busy in some kind of extracurricular activities. So what he did was that he took us to a Sindh rowing club in Karachi, and the coach over there, that was Sayyid Mahfuzul Haq Sahab, and he was amazed to see girls in his club.
You were in the school?
We were in schools. And he was like, he came to my father and said, it's a very risky and a very hard sports, and your girls won't be able to do it.
It's for guys, basically.
Yeah, it's for guys, actually, and it's a hard one. So in fact, your girls will get hurt during this sports and everything. But my father was very adamant, and he was like that, I want my girls to learn this. So we started off with our training in rowing and canoeing over there, and we took it so seriously, me and my sisters, that we became the national champions in rowing and canoeing.
Wow.
And earning about 19 golds, 16 silvers, and 4 bronze medals in
the national games? In
the national games. So we used to have national games in different cities of Pakistan, like for example, apart from Karachi, at Rawal Lake in Islamabad, at Tanda Dam in Kohad, and even at Hanna Lake in Quetta. And I think I'm really thankful, or maybe I'm very lucky to be in that sports, that we saw those places in this position and everything.
So there was no fear of water. You must be a very good swimmer.
No, because we were swimmers. So we learned swimming in Bhavalpur. So that's why. So that was a prerequisite to get into that sports.
Okay, fair enough.
So after that, and currently, as you told before as well, that I'm an executive member of Pakistan Rowing Association. So this sport was extremely hard and tough. So for stamina building purpose, my father actually registered ourselves in an athletic fitness school that is still in the premises of Pakistan Hockey Stadium, Karachi, and it is still being run by Sir Talib Hussain, who is actually, an Olympian.
Former Olympian.
Yeah, and he represented Pakistan in one of the Olympic championships in hurdle races. So I think I have never seen such a selfless person
Dedicated,
before,
yeah.
such a dedicated person before. Because whosoever is coming in contact with him, the children, the younger ones, and
He's
everyone,
a transformed
he is
individual.
exactly. He is making a big difference in everybody's life.
Now we need to cherish all such coaches, teachers, and who've done so much in their lives, and now they are sharing it and they're passing it on.
That's right.
Passing the
That's right.
baton
And unconsciously, they are actually inculcating some very fine qualities in us, like fighting for the last mile.
Right.
Don't give up easily, and things like that.
So Sana, tell me, you've been moving from city to city, and obviously you, the lucky part was you didn't get to do any homework like other students. But you were an average student, and you were good in extracurricular and debates also. Were you into debates and
No,
dramatics?
I wasn't in that.
Only in sports.
Yeah.
In our country specifically, getting into the medical field requires a lot of numbers, marks in your matriculation, and
Yeah.
it's very difficult for an average student to actually even dream of getting into a med school.
That's
because
true.
the merit is too high.
Yeah.
So how did you circumvent that issue? That is one part of my question. And secondly, who inspired you, or who told you to become a doctor? Was it like something like since childhood, oh, I had this dream of serving humanity, that's why I became a... why did you become a doctor?
Okay, so you are absolutely right. My childhood has been quite different from others. It was extraordinary, I must say. And I wasn't among those children or those families who were like that you need to be a doctor in future, or you need to be an engineer in future. I still remember when my mother's friends, they used to ask me, what do you want to be in future? And my answer was always like that, I want to represent Pakistan internationally in water sports. So they were so amazed, and they were so astonished to listen to that answer, because most of the people and children, they were like, oh, I want to be a doctor. I want to serve
You
the
said
nation.
I want to be a sports person.
Yeah, I want to be a sports person and everything. So how I became a doctor, again, it's a long story. So whenever we used to go to the military hospital, so I was very much inspired by the uniform they used to wear. So yeah, this was my very first, stimulus or maybe an interest to be a doctor.
Okay.
So I just said to my parents that I want to be a doctor in uniform, actually. And they were like, well, in that case, you need to work really hard on it.
You need to study like
Yeah, you
anything.
need to study like anything to get into that. So what I would like to say is that you don't need to be great to start. You just need to start to be great. And this is what has happened with
You
me.
need to work hard.
Yeah, you need to work hard. When we were in athletic fitness school, we were being trained by our national coaches, professional national coaches, in short distance races, long distance races, and long jumps, high jumps, and even javelin throws. Okay, so, and I took that task as a challenge, and I took it so seriously that finally I was selected to represent Sindh in National Athletic Championship that was held at Peshawar in 1500 meters race.
Wow.
So it was a great achievement for me, because I took each task as a challenge, and I used to get, I used to concentrate on one step at a time instead of being overwhelmed by the final goal. So after Karachi, we were posted to Sargodha.
Okay.
So I had an interest in painting, sketchings, and things like that.
Okay.
Again, my father hired a professional artist for me, who actually made me learn the principles of sketching, the principles of shading.
But was it a natural flair?
Yeah, it was
sketching
natural.
and
It was
painting?
something very natural.
It was natural.
Yeah, so he just wanted to made me train in,
Polish your
professionally.
skills.
Yeah, exactly. So he actually made me learn how to give a 3D effect to a painting or a sketching or anything else. After my father's retirement, we were finally settled in Islamabad, And even in Islamabad, I joined National Council of Arts to continue my
Painting,
painting training
sketching,
and sketching and things like that. So, and now my favorite medium is oil on canvas. And I have got a lot of paintings exhibited at my home, obviously. Plus in the females hostel of Army Medical College as well. And now I'm applying those skills in different mediums as well. So I paint on fabrics, and I have painted one of the wall of my kitchen and one of the wall of my room. And recently my work is being displayed on the floor of one of the hospital that I'm working in.
Wow. So do you do landscapes or portraits or what?
Yeah, so it's actually landscapes, still arts. So that is why I'm mainly interested in it.
Very nice. So this you developed while in school?
While in school.
Okay. What happened next?
Okay, so what happened next was that I told you that because of the uniform and things like that, I was inspired. And so I took pre-medical.
And you started working hard?
Yeah, I started working hard.
Did you get good marks in your matriculation?
Yeah, I did actually, and then I took pre-medical. I did my metric and FSC from Islamabad Model College for Girls, FTN 2. And finally, I got an admission in Army Medical College. Okay. And it was,
that was your dream?
Yeah, it was like, my dream come true. Okay. It was something like that. It was my dream to be in that college. Okay. So in the college years, as you all know, that MBBS is a 5 years course. It's a very tough one. And you can't carry on all the extracurricular activities with you. I mean, the activities in which I am actually involved in, So I just concentrated on my studies.
So rowing, canoeing, sketching,
painting, everything was
and Grey's Anatomy at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Very difficult combination.
It is actually indeed. So in the college years, I was just an average student, never been a topper, but I had one good habit, that I had a habit of going through the books cover to cover. I've never used short books to build up my concepts. Okay. And this habit of mine actually paid me off very well in all the competitive exams that I gave in future, that I'll be telling you about. Okay. So I still remember that on the last day of my final year professional exam, when I was coming out of the examination hall, all my colleagues who were mostly belong to doctors' families, they were discussing about their future plans. Some people were saying that I want to do FCPS in this subject. Yeah, exactly. And that was the very first time that I heard of this term even. FCPS is something. Okay. And then there were some other colleagues who were talking about PLAB exam to get a residency in UK. And similarly, there were some people who were talking about USMLE steps to get a residency in America. And when they asked me, and I was like, I just want to concentrate on my house job right now, and I just want to have that prefix of doctor in my name. That was the only thing that was in my mind. And that is how I started off. So after, when I was waiting for my final year exam result, so my father took me to that philanthropic society that I've told you before, that is a Samba Society for Prevention of Blindness, to work as a volunteer medical officer over there. So that was my very first practical exposure to this, to the world of being a doctor. So I used to do the pre-op and post-op care of the cataract patients, and I used to get scrubbed with Dr. Abdul Monin Suri, who was an ophthalmologist over there. And he was the one who actually inspired me to be an ophthalmologist, that is an eye surgeon.
So till then you had not decided what area you want to specialize in?
Exactly. So that is how it went actually. And then after passing my exam, doing my MBBS and everything, med school, so I wanted to join Pakistan Army because that was my main inspiration and everything behind all these efforts and everything. So, but my father was of the opinion that I'll be losing the freedom of choosing the specialization of my own choice, number one. And number two, he wanted me to get into specialization straight away after my house job without any gap and anything.
Doing any job somewhere?
Yeah, exactly. So, and that wasn't possible at that time in Pakistan Army. So I actually dropped that idea, and I started off my house job at PIMS, that is Pakistan Institute of Medical Sciences.
It's a government hospital?
Yeah, exactly. It's a government hospital. So during my house job time, my father got to know about that STEPS exam, USMLE STEPS, and American residency and things like that. And he came to me and he said, why don't you go up, why don't you give this exam? And I was like, I was like my father that, I mean, people who are actually giving these exams, they're not doing house job, number one, and they are studying for 18 hours a day in the library for more than 2 years to pass those exams and to get a residency in America. So he just asked me a very simple question. He's an army officer, so you can well imagine. So he just said, how many bones do you have in a human body? I was like, it's 206.
Yeah.
So what a big deal. So he was like, then are they going to be different in steps? And I had no answer to that, to be very honest. And so I, along with my house job, I didn't, stop my house job. Along with my house job, I gave all the 3 steps in 1.5 years, and I got 99 in each. And finally, I got a residency in America in internal medicine.
So this was without studying 18 hours a day?
No. So actually, I was actually doing my house job, I was studying as well, so I was actually balancing everything.
Okay.
So I used to sleep only for 6 hours, and I was studying like anything, and I was doing my house job and practical stuff and I think because of that, I actually enjoyed my house job because I was able to correlate the theoretical knowledge with the practical thing. So I was literally enjoying that period.
So you passed the step exam and you moved to America?
No. So I got a residency in internal medicine, but I had at that time my interest changed during my house job to general surgery. So for general surgery, they said to me that you need to come here for an year or so and work as an internee, get a letter of recommendation from an American doctor, and then you will be starting off with your residency and everything. But by that time, I had already passed my FCPS Part 1, that is an entry exam into surgical residency, and my father was like, just drop that idea and continue with your residency over here, and you can, because I'm now ECFMG certified, that is MD USA, so you can actually do your post graduation or things like that in America later on. So that is what happened actually. So after before starting my house job, I had an interest in ophthalmology, being an eye surgeon, but by the end of house job, I met Professor Aslam Shah, and he was the head of department general surgery at PIMS, and he was the one who actually aspired me to be a general surgeon.
And when you say general surgeon, you mean a
No, it's just general surgery I'm talking about. So it's because of him that I gave exam, and that is a FCPS Part 1 in general surgery, and got into this training. So during that period, whatever exam it came in front of me, I gave that.
And you passed with flying colors.
Yeah, exactly. So I passed that Federal Public Service Commission exam and got became a permanent medical officer at PIMS. So it was a great achievement at that time. Getting a permanent job in a government setup. It was it was a big thing at that time. So yeah, so I started off my training. That's in general surgery, it's a 4 years training, a very tough one. And during the second month of my training, I passed my membership exam from Royal College of Surgeons, Edinburgh, in general surgery. And by the second year, when I was in second year, I was just, we were dealing with all sorts of emergency patients, including all the trauma patients, firearm injuries, stab wounds, road traffic accidents, and things like that. We were running whole of the elective list, and we were doing the OPDs and taking care of the inpatient departments as well. So it's an extremely tough training. So in that training, I realized that I need to, have a proper training in managing those emergency trauma patients, especially. So I voluntarily registered myself for a course that is Advanced Trauma Life Support from American College of Surgeons, that was being conducted by College of Physicians Surgeons, Pakistan. And I not only, I just wanted to polish my skills in managing trauma patients. So that was my only aim to join that course. So I not only passed that course, and they gave me the instructor status at the end of that course. And it was the very first time. You were
so good at it that they gave you the instructor status.
Yeah, so it was very first time in the history of ATLS that some resident trainee has been given an instructor status, because they used to give it to only supervisors and the consultants.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so by the end of second year, Professor Aslam Shah, he got retired, and I was taken up by Professor Tanveer Khalik. Now this is the second mentor that I'm very lucky to have in my life, in my training. He was the one who actually used to do all sorts of emergency and elective vascular cases at PIMS. So there was nobody in government setup who was actually doing those vascular surgeries and everything. So in vascular surgery, we actually deals with blood vessels.
Okay.
That is arteries and veins. I'm going to tell you in detail in the end as well,
Okay.
when I'm going to get into it. Okay, so Professor Tanveer Khalik was the one who actually inspired me to be a vascular surgeon. So I used to get scrubbed with him even at odd hours and everything, just to, you know, see how he's doing, what technique he's using, how he's going to, and you know, vascular surgery is very challenging, but it is extremely rewarding at the end. You know, when you save the limb of the patient, you see the results immediately, just after the surgery. So it is very rewarding, and so this actually, you know, stimulated me to be a vascular surgeon as well. So during this whole journey, I need to mention one more name, that is Dr. Syed Tansir Asghar.
Dr. Syed Tansir Asghar.
Tansir Asghar.
Tansir Asghar.
So he is the real mentor that I had during this whole journey.
So what about the others that you just mentioned?
Oh yeah, so that's the third name. So that's the third name.
You know,
actually.
one thing I've learned from Dr. Sana is that having good teachers, trainers, supervisors, people who can guide you is very, very essential to be successful in life. That's what I've gathered till now.
That's absolutely right. And I think I am extremely lucky to have great people who actually inspired me and motivated me and actually helped me in pushing the boundaries.
So what did Dr. Tansir do?
So Dr. Tansir Asghar, he's a general surgeon, plus he's a bariatric surgeon as well. And he was the one, actually I knew it that by the end of the 4 years of my general surgery training, I'll be getting the degree for sure. I knew it, that I'll be there. But that is actually just a piece of paper in a practical world. What I wanted was that I wanted to develop my surgical skills to an excellence actually.
Okay.
That is what I wanted to do. And Dr. Syed Tansir Asghar was the one who actually crafted those skills in me.
Okay.
He not only made me learn all sorts of general surgical procedures that we are doing on the daily basis, but he actually made me an expert in doing advanced laparoscopic procedures as well. Now what is laparoscopy? Laparoscopy is actually a keyhole surgery. You can call it a minimal invasive surgery, or you can call it a camera surgery. Okay, in which we are not giving big scars to the patient, no scars, nothing, and we are doing all sorts of non-invasive, minimal invasive. I must say minimal invasive. Yeah. Okay. So in that, like for example, we are doing through the camera, we are removing gallbladders, appendix, all sort of cancer surgeries, bariatric surgery, that is weight loss surgery, doing laparoscopic sleeve gastrectomies and gastric bypasses, and even gynecological procedures, removing the uterus laparoscopically through the camera, and you know, dealing with ovarian cystectomies and you know, things like that.
Okay.
So yeah, he was the one who actually crafted those skills in me.
Okay.
I actually what I think is that great surgeons, they are not born. They are actually built with commitment and willingness to pay the price for achieving excellence. And that is what I did. So I used to work for extra hours during my training even. And being female in this very you know, competitive male dominating field, I used to work 10 times more just to prove myself. So that is what I did.
And that you did, I think,
yeah, so
with your performance.
Yeah, and it paid me off. That all hard work and everything, it paid me off really well.
Wow, awesome. Viewers, we need to take a short break here, but this was the academic, educational journey of Dr. Sana. And once we come back from the break, then we're going to ask about her experience of studying abroad, then coming back to Pakistan, serving the masses here, and what would she like to share with all our viewers. So take a short break, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Sky's the Limit. I am with Dr. Sana Sharafat Ali, and we are having a very, very interesting and a very technical discussion also while she is going through her life's journey, what made her what she is today. We are really proud of her. Dr. Sana, so before the break, we came up to the point where you were the senior registrar at PIMS.
Yeah.
What did you do after that?
So when I passed my exam, that is FCPS in general surgery, so I became a general surgeon. I was labeled as a general surgeon, and I started working as a senior registrar at PIMS. And that was the time when I literally polished my skills, because I was running the whole emergency surgical team independently, the elective cases independently, and that was the time when I was independently making decisions for the patients, independently doing surgeries under kind supervision of Professor Tanveer Khalik.
Okay.
So I thought that I have already achieved excellence, because I was a supervisor of global laparoscopic robotics as well, and I was the clinical secretary of Society of Surgeons as well, Rawalpindi Islamabad chapter. And so it was like that I am at the top of everything. That was my concept at that time. But what happened that one fine day, my sister, the youngest one, whom I told you, Dr. Sharafat Ali, she's a gynecologist, and she has done FCPS in gynae, and she has also passed her membership exam from Royal College of Gynae and Obs, Edinburgh. So she was the one that she wanted to have some kind of international exposure. And she was actually going through the, all the international programs being offered in UK. She was going through the whole list and everything. So my father went through the whole list, and there was vascular surgeries being offered in the subspecialty of general surgery. Okay. And my father knew it, that I had an interest in vascular surgery, because whenever I used to come home, I narrate the whole stories that this trauma patient came up with, the vascular, one of the vessels were completely cut and, transected and everything, and I did this and did what, and the pulses came back, and I was able to save the limb and the life of the patient. So he knew each and every stories of my the day-to-day surgeries and everything. So he came to me and said, why don't you apply in that program? And I was like, initially I was very reluctant. Why? Because I was like, I have already achieved excellence in my field, and I am working as a senior registrar at PIMS. I have started off with my private practice. How can I leave all this and go and study again? Yeah, exactly. From the very scratch, I start off with the same routine and everything. But then I thought that vascular surgery is quite rare in Pakistan. I mean, there are very few completely trained vascular surgeons in Pakistan.
And we don't have any female vascular surgeons.
And we don't have any female vascular surgeon. And I mean, people in Pakistan with vascular disease, they are on the rise at that time and everything. So I was like, I mean, coming out of your comfort zone, it wasn't easy for me.
Of course.
And I think that great things happen to those who actually come out of their comfort zone, and they know how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So that is what I did.
Getting comfortable being uncomfortable. That's a good term. Okay.
Yeah, so I applied for that program, and I was very lucky enough that I got it, and I started off with my training in vascular surgery in Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Birmingham.
So you left Pakistan, you left your senior registrar position, everything, and you moved abroad.
And I moved abroad. So I started off with my training in vascular surgery at Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Birmingham, and that was a fully dedicated tertiary care hospital that was a major referral center for all sorts of vascular cases. So when I was there, I mean, it took me few months to settle there, because it was a completely new environment and new setup for me, and plus I had to start from the very scratch to prove myself over there. So I used to call home on almost on everyday basis, and I used to cry on the phone and say to my parents, I want to come back and things like that. And my
everyone goes through that.
Yeah, so my parents were they were being very supportive. They were like, winners never quit, the things like that. So my father used to motivating things that my father used to say to me. And in fact, they were so supportive that they used to come to UK and stay there for a few months and then go back and then coming. And so that is how I started off with my training. In a very few months or so, I gained the confidence of my all vascular consultants over there. They used to trust me with their patients. So I started off with all sorts of emergency and elective vascular cases under their supervision. And I had really good feedbacks, not only from my vascular consultants, but also from my colleagues and even from the patients. So ultimately I got the completion training certificate, and finally I cleared my fellowship exam from Royal College of Surgeons. So after that,
They must have offered you a job to stay
yeah,
back?
so the thing was, I had I had a lot of opportunities over there to continue my profession as a vascular surgeon over there, but I chose to come back. Why? Number one, because of my parents, because I wanted to be with them, and secondly, I wanted to serve the people of my nation, actually.
No, that's the thought actually, that you learn the skill, but then you come back and give back to the society, which has made you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So on coming back, I started off my job as an assistant professor in general surgery department at PIMS. Why? Because there wasn't any vascular department at PIMS or any government setup.
Okay.
So I had to face a lot of challenges on coming back. The reason was that I had to start off my vascular career from the very scratch in Pakistan. And secondly, I had to clear my FCPS vascular surgery exam. That was my third fellowship exam.
Okay.
And alhamdulillah, I cleared it in the very first attempt. And I was awarded with an honor of being the first female vascular surgeon of Pakistan from the College of Physicians and Surgeons, Pakistan.
Wow.
So that is how it started off. And then my struggle hasn't ended yet. So now the thing is, I'm going to give you a brief introduction of what vascular surgery is all about.
Yeah.
People think that we are cardiac surgeons, actually. So it's quite different from cardiac surgery.
Okay.
In vascular surgery, we are actually dealing with blood vessels.
Blood vessels.
And we have got two types of blood vessels in our body. One is arteries, and that is the one that actually pump oxygenated blood from the heart to the rest of the body.
So whenever we get a heart attack, mostly our arteries are blocked.
Yeah, exactly. So whenever those peripheral vessels, they get blocked, the patient is going to lose the limb first. It will get black, and they're going to lose the limb and end up with an amputation, and they might lose the life as well.
Okay.
So it's a very, it has got very grave consequences.
Yeah.
And second thing is venous diseases. So veins are the vessels that actually carry deoxygenated blood from the rest of the body back to the heart for cleaning purpose. Yeah. So and if the blood gets blocked over there, or there is clotting there, so that is what we call it deep venous thrombosis, and it can be treated medically. We don't need any surgery for that.
Okay.
But there is another disease called varicose veins. So this is the disease in which the people get dilated tortuous vessels and in the legs, and they not only aesthetically look bad, but if you don't treat them, they actually causes ulcers over there in the legs, and you won't be able to that ulcers, they won't be able to heal even in an year's time as well, if you don't treat them on time. So what I'm doing here is that I have started off with endovenous laser surgery for varicose veins.
Okay.
It is one of the latest technology to treat those veins. It's a daycare procedure, number one, completely minimal invasive procedure with no scars, no incisions, no stitches, no anesthesia.
Wow.
And there is no time off work.
So totally non-invasive.
Completely non-invasive procedure. So that is what I'm doing over here. In vascular surgery at PIMS, my workflow is quite difficult. It is very challenging. You must have, heard of a phrase that is out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yes.
And that is what has happened with me.
Okay.
Getting trained as a vascular surgeon, it's
so
like
Edinburgh was frying pan.
yeah. So actually, getting training in vascular surgery, it was like frying in a pan, literally, and then ending up into a hospital that doesn't have a dedicated vascular unit in it. So it is like going into fire. Why? Because every single person, every single specialty, they want a vascular surgeon, they want the help from the vascular surgeon, and they want them to work in a very efficient and timely fashion. Why? Because like suppose in acute cases, when there is acute occlusion of the vessels and everything, we have got only 6 hours window period to save the limb of that patient. And if there is a delay, then all your efforts will be in vain. So everybody, they call you on the emergency basis, out of hour work is too much over there, and sometimes it becomes very difficult, and sometimes it becomes humanly impossible. So my workflow of being a vascular surgeon at PIMS is like that, that I am doing all sorts of elective vascular cases one can think of. It includes all sorts of bypasses.
Okay.
Like, I mean, these are some of the technical terms like aortobiFEMs, aortoiliacs, aortodistal, femdistal bypasses and everything.
Pertinent to your profession.
Yeah, exactly. So similarly, upper limb bypasses. I get lot of referrals from nephrology department.
So where do you get time for your sketching, painting, canoeing, and
Only
rowing?
on weekends.
Only on weekends.
Yeah,
That you
only
stay
on
the weekend.
Yeah, only
Weekday,
on.
I'm sure must be packed.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Totally packed.
Not at all. So lot of referrals from different departments, and I'm really thankful to Professor S.H. Vakar. He is actually the head of department currently of general surgery at PAMS, and he is sharing his list for the vascular cases, because we don't have a vascular unit over there.
Okay.
So I am actually taking this opportunity. I'm taking this program as a platform to actually give this message to the higher authorities like Health Ministry and President of Pakistan to actually develop a proper, fully dedicated vascular unit at a government setup like PAMS, because the vascular diseases, they are on the rise in Pakistan.
Yes, and due attention should be given to this fact.
Definitely, because the thing is, increased age, diabetes mellitus, having sugar, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, and
we
the
have
smoking.
so many cases. Yeah.
So these are all the risk factors that actually put the patient at risk of having peripheral artery occlusive diseases.
Fair enough. And what do you want to do in future? What's your futuristic
So
outlook?
my plan is to develop a fully dedicated vascular unit at PAMS. This is my #1 plan for it. So the major aim is to save the limbs of the patient on the in the timely fashion.
You're going to specialize in this field only? Further specialization?
There's no further specialization left now.
Okay, all right. But you need to continue.
Yeah, I need to continue with the whole thing so that But
updated.
now I want to supervise my younger ones to start off with this specialty, and so that they also start saving the limbs and the lives of the patient by learning these skills.
Amazing, amazing. Darsana, so many, like it's very rare in our society for girls to come in a field which is usually male dominated and then make a mark or be the first one in that. And you managed to do that. So, kudos to you. What message would you like to give to the young females and especially med students who are watching you right now? In general, what would you like to say to them and also to Pakistanis as a whole?
I must say that Pakistani women, they are blessed with immense potential and talent, and all they need to do is to explore them and utilize them in the right direction. And I think believing in yourself is the first secret to success.
Yeah.
And if you're going to believe in yourself, then success is automatically going to follow you. You don't need to chase success.
Oh.
And for the younger ones, I would like to say that you just need to be the best version of yourself. No competition, no comparison with anyone else. You just need to compete with your previous self. You need to be fearless. Let your dreams fly.
Wow. You need to have an open field.
An open field. Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Wow.
And be greedy, be hungry for your ambitions. There should be a spark in you to, get that thing. And very importantly, you need to surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah.
Who can actually inspire you, motivate you, and help you in pushing the boundaries.
That can be your friends, family,
anyone,
mentors, whoever.
anyone.
I think very well said. Just to cap what Dr. Sana said. One, you don't need to be the topper or the top 3 students in the class to become someone big. You need to work hard. There's no shortcut to success. You need to work hard. You need to think big. It's not like you should not have smaller aims or goals. You should have bigger aims, and you should work towards it with a focused, dedicated approach, and you will reach there. One day it might get delayed by 2 days, 3 days, but you will definitely. Secondly, what I gathered from your talk, Dr. Sana, is that the importance of having good influencers, good people surrounding you who motivate you, encourage you, who have a positive influence on you, and having good teachers and mentors. That is essential. Always pick. I also try that in my life. that, you know, I try and pick the best institution, you know, where we can get the best of the best teachers, because that really leaves a mark on your personality.
That's true.
Right?
That's
so, Dr. Sana, anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, sure. So in the end, I would like to say that never ever take your extracurricular activities for granted. This is so important. People think that you are wasting time in sports and things like that.
Yeah.
So like in my case, I got the stamina and endurance from my training in
Which is helping you in your
athletics.
profession also.
Yeah, and it is helping me in my profession as well. You know, standing for very long hours for the surgeries and everything. And secondly, just because of now of those artistic skills, I mean, it's helping me to be a very fine surgeon, especially in vascular surgery, in which we are actually dealing with very tiny vessels like 2 to 3 mm.
Right.
So it is important that never ever take your extracurricular activities for granted.
For granted.
And in the end, I would like to say that, as you said, consistency, hard work, late nights, patience, sacrifice, failures, devotion, focus, and taking risks. That's all you need to be successful.
Failure is a part of success.
Definitely.
You know, if you don't fail, you'll never succeed. Remember
Definitely.
that. Most of people think that, you know, failure is gone. No, you're not gone. That prepares you for the next battle. And so this was the creative, sporty, record-making professional doctor, Dr. Sana Sharafat Ali. So proud to have had this session with you, Dr.
Thank you
Sana.
very much.
I wish you all the best in your painting, sketching, in your canoeing, rowing, and as the first female vascular surgeon in Pakistan, you've made a mark. I wish you all the best, and your resolve to serve the Pakistanis, to help the plight of the patients here, that is commendable. Thank you very much for being a part of this program. With this, we come to the end of this episode of Sky is the Limit. Inshallah, till we meet again, Allah Hafiz.